Hi, thank you for joining me today. So I expected you were going to be here. So this is on expectations. Um, it was interesting when I first started really looking at expectations after my estrangement from my children. I realized I didn't have expectations that were clear. I thought my expectations were very clear, but they were not clear. Because when I was asked by my counselor, Bob and Audrey Meisner, Jody, what are your expectations? How many times a year do you want to spend with your children? And I actually didn't know. And it was interesting that as I started thinking about if I want to talk to them every hour on the hour every single day, yeah, that's probably not going to work because they need to have their own lives. But also, if I want to be able to see them at least once a year, that sounds very reasonable, especially if they were in an area where I can meet them or they can meet me. But it wasn't even really laid out that clearly. And it wasn't for my situation, why it wasn't laid out very clearly is we just had goals that we were trying to achieve and to do, and those all changed with our children. And I didn't realize how those were changing, but now I do. And so finding out what your expectations are is very important. Like, ask yourself, could you tell somebody what your expectation is of, like this estrangement? Before this estrangement, how many times would you expect to talk to your child, talk to your mom in a year, and on when? And what would be reasonable? What would be kind? Could they do it? Could you meet them? What is feasible? So expectations is super important to get a handle on and practice. So in the book that I wrote for us, the very first chapter is expectations, and the last chapter is expectancy. So expectancy is what we all hope for, what we can't wait to get to, but it just isn't here yet. It's like waiting for Christmas. You just expect Christmas is going to be so nice when you're a child and there's presents to open and you can't wait for that day. Well, or when you are pregnant and you're just expectant of a child that's going to be living with you, your family, you're going to be a mom, you're going to have a daughter, and just looking forward. And expectancy for us is just to expect that we're not going to be estranged forever. You can't be estranged forever. Somehow we might be estranged in this life, but we want to hold on to those promises of God. And one of the things I do is I pray over one of the Revelations verses, which is Revelations 3:7. And I don't have it up right now, but in there it says basically God opens every door that man shuts, and any door that God opens, man cannot shut. And so I'm just expectant that there will be resolve somehow, somewhere. Those are kind of the things that I put my expectancy in. So it's a good idea to decide what is expected and what is expectant. That's kind of a tongue twister. What are your expectations? But then how are you with looking forward with expectancy and joy? So it's not easy. We're in it together, but I'm glad you're here and you mean a lot to me. And let's just see how we come together. And I expect that we're going to have many, many good friendships here for a very long time.